Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's podcast. We have with us some of our instructors that are teaching classes in our mindfulness program, which is very new over the last year. We've had Danielle's been on once before. Judy has not been on before, so I'm very excited for you to see Danielle again and to meet Judy. We're going to talk about their classes that they have coming up. We're going to talk a little bit about their experiences within the bubble of mindfulness. What is mindfulness? What is that to you? I don't know. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to see what Arts Bonita is doing with mindfulness. So this is, as I said, the Arts Bonita podcast, and we are releasing episodes every Wednesday, typically. And, so make sure that when you're watching it, you share these videos with others. That's the best way to spread the word and create excitement around the program. Yes, let's meet our guests. So I'm going to start with Danielle. Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about, how you got into the realm of mindfulness, and then just tell us what you have going on right now in your life. What are you doing professionally? And then we'll do the same thing for you, Judy. Okay?
Sounds great.
All right, Danielle, go ahead.
All right, so I'm Danielle Artigo, and okay, how did I get into mindfulness? Well, as we've talked about so many times, it's such a broad category, right? But in the way that I think we mean it here is the space of meditation, spirituality even. For me, I'm a channel. I'm a retreat leader. I take people to sacred sites. So I just came back from Egypt, which was super amazing and magical and fun. And I will be going to Taiwan in a couple weeks, which is also amazing and magical and fun. So that's what I do for a living. I channel, I teach, and these are my greatest pleasures. So where did I start with it? My goodness. Well, about 7 years ago or so, I did some meditation training with David G. Have you heard of him?
I've heard of him, yeah.
Okay. So he used to run the Chopra Center, and he is amazing. The man has so much knowledge in his brain. It is absolutely astounding. And I want to say it was a 9-month-long program. And that was an easy way to sort of dip the toe in, right? To say, okay, I'm going to just, look, anything that has to do with mindfulness, spirituality, it comes with being centered and grounded. You can't hear the voice of the divine. You can't hear the voice of your own higher self if you're not first anchored. And so for me, that was a huge, huge step. So I started with that, and then that opened up my channel a whole lot more. So I'd been channeling since I was in my early 20s, like 22, consciously channeling, right? I think I was doing it for a long time before that, but I wasn't aware that's what I was doing until I was in my early 20s. Then in my mid 30s, I said, I'm going to go get this training with David G. And it was really, really profound. And it opened up my channel even more. So it deepened my energy healing work, my teaching, all of it. And so that's really kind of how I got started. And once that snowball starts rolling, it's, try to stop it, right?
Right, it's addictive.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what about
it's like
for you?
the tractor beam vortex.
Yeah.
Is it a Star Wars reference?
Yes, it is.
Wow, Star Wars references
She's
already.
wobbling
This is
like a duck in
excellent.
orbit.
Yes. Oh, wow, she does voices too. Yoda's here.
She does.
So, Judy, what about for you?
Oh my goodness, it's been such a journey. It's been, oh my gosh, like 30 years of so many fascinating and life expanding and reality consciousness expanding journeys that began back in Denver with a breathing meditation group called Art of Living with Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. And then it kept evolving, and I spent quite a bit of time working with a Native American healer, and then 10 years working with a Taoist master. And I was told well before I knew any of this energy stuff that I was going to become a homeopath. And I went, a homeo what? I didn't even know what the word was.
How dare you call me that?
And I was like, what is it? Wait, now I was fascinated. Like, I'm going to become something I don't even know what it is. And so I immediately ran and started, we didn't have Google back then, and ran and started figuring out what that was and going to books. And I was like, fascinated. Energy medicine? What does that even mean? Like, what is that? Like, who even talks about that kind of stuff?
Right.
And before I knew it, there was the tractor beam. And I was just so sucked in. And that was very prophetic comment that was made to me, because it's in fact true. And I did become a homeopath and a flower essence practitioner and hands-on healer, and now actually a spiritual healer that doesn't require, and I don't mean spiritual religious, not at all. It's working with energy, it's working with frequencies, and that's ultimately what we really are all about. We're biochemical later. We're energy, fundamentally, everything is. And so when you work with energy, you can feel, you can sense, it's a language. You can shift things, and you can shift things very quickly, and it doesn't require mental constructs. It just is malleable, and it's a fascinating world that makes this existence way more magical and way more exciting and expansive than we're led to believe. So I feel almost like a Johnny Appleseed desiring so much to get the word out that there's so much more to life than we're told. And it's like, and everybody knows on some level, but they're never validated in it. And so I'm here to validate, and I'm here to expand and help people step into their potency and their understanding and what they actually know is true, but maybe they've been like suppressed in some way. So I hope that answers your question.
It totally does. And dang, this is going to be a good podcast, because you guys know what you're talking about. You guys have energy. You guys are well-spoken. You guys are professional. Like, it's going to be great. So
awesome.
Let's talk about a couple of things. First of all, you guys out there don't even know that Arts Bonita is offering specific programming in the mindfulness realm. And that's why this is so great. People can learn about this. You said that you can shift things. So that makes me think about, wouldn't it be great if we had a course called The Art of Getting Unstuck, for example? Which, yes, which is, thank you. Was that an I Dream of Jeannie reference?
Was an I
Oh my
Dream of
God,
Jeannie
there's so
reference.
many. I love it. So let's dive into some of the stuff that you're talking about, because and then we'll go back to Danielle. But let's just get some of the classes out of the way and some of the motivation behind these classes for you. So let's start with that one, since we just made a very natural transition to the Art of Getting Unstuck. If we can go to the camera here, I'm on the Arts Bonita website, which is artsbonita.org, and you go to education, adult education, and then you will find the Art of Mindfulness, and that's where we're looking right now. And on here, you're going to see a series of classes that we offer that are related to in the realm of mindfulness, which we'll talk about mindfulness in a little bit, what that means, what that is. It means something different for everybody. Some people it means a lot, to others it doesn't mean that much, but we're going to talk about it and unpack it. But we do things that are very specific to these classes. So I'm going to go back, just because we go to adult classes. I want to show you guys how to get there, okay? I don't want people to get there and be confused. We have so many offerings at Arts Bonita. For those of you that come to Arts Bonita, you already know this. For some of you that do not, you need to look at all the things we have here, because there are so many things. So I'm going to go to mindfulness, click on mindfulness, and now it's going to show me anything that we have at the center that is in the art of mindfulness. And that's what these are, okay? So we're going to go look for Judy's class that is called The Art of Getting Unstuck. And that's what we're going to click on right now. So can you tell me a little bit about this class and what the motivation was behind it and what people are going to do in the class?
Yes. Well, it's very experiential. It's very unique. This is not stuff you're going to find in a lot of places, but it's very effective, and it's quick, and it's actually fun, and it allows people to become more aware of where they're finding themselves, blocking themselves, and then quickly, in the moment, change that with numerous tools. This could be called your toolkit of consciousness. This could be called making this reality work for you. This could be called many things. But ultimately, if you get yourself unstuck, then you can move forward in whatever that is for you, whether it's relationship, whether it's your art projects, whether it's with family, whether it's with your own internal sense of yourself. We all find ourselves getting kind of tripped up and stuck someplace. And these are tools that you can have lifelong that will be with you if you choose it, to be with you at any time. Doesn't cost anything to use these tools. You'll always have them in your back pocket anytime you want them. And they're expansiveness generating tools. And that's what we're about, and there'll be experiential classes. It's basically a 90-minute, although it's going to be tough, it'll probably be more like 2 hours, but 90-minute once a week for 4 weeks. I had done this back in May, and actually Danielle took the class. And it was one 6-hour straight experience, and it went amazing, and we had incredible experiences out of it. But Danielle and others said, you know what, why don't you break it into segments so we can taste it, try it, experiment with it, come back and reconvene, and then like move on to the other.
That's
so
great.
I thought it was a brilliant idea. So that's why this format exists now, where everyone can like really own the material, make it theirs, and make it fun, and have more expansiveness in their lives.
Yeah, well, I would say to everybody out there, if you have ever felt stuck in your life in any way, I think I'm talking to every single person in the world.
Yeah.
I wish every single person in the world was watching right now, because if you were, you'd be like, yeah, I definitely feel stuck. And so to have a class that you could go and take that could possibly make a big difference in your life, then why wouldn't you try that? You said, for those who choose it. What do you mean by that?
Great question, because everything's a choice. I mean, we can choose to work out. We can choose to eat healthy. We can choose to drink soda. We can choose to, stuff ourselves eating bonbons on a couch with television all night. So it's choice. We have to come to the table and at least choose it, and then invest in ourselves a bit and practice it to make it part of us. Once we make it part of us, it's life-changing. I have so many stories and so many fun examples for my own life, let alone my clients' and friends' lives that have been impacted as well, that this stuff just works, and it's easy, and it's fun.
Yeah, and if I may.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I was lucky enough to take Judy's class, and it was 6 hours. It went by in a flash. It could have been 8 or 10. I mean, like everything, we could go on forever and ever with it, but it's deceptively simple. And it's empowering because they are tools, like you said, to your point. You don't need to go out and buy, a sound kit or a this or a that. It's like it's very practical. And I think that was one of the things I appreciated the most, because coming at it from a channel where I'm always up here, to have something grounded and embodied that gives you actual tools that you can use. I mean, I'm going to take it again. I'm going to be in your class again.
Awesome.
I thought it was
God,
fun.
that makes me so happy.
Yeah,
It was so fun.
I thought it was a lot of fun. Very, very worthwhile for sure. Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's
for
great.
That.
I was going to ask you, because I knew she had taken the class and she had
Yeah.
told me great things about it. I was going to ask you. So thank you guys for naturally doing what I wanted you to do.
Yeah.
Again, another Star Wars reference. I'm obviously using my abilities to persuade you to do things with my mind,
Right.
which I've done. I'm sorry, I should have asked, but whatever.
Well,
we'll move
that's
on.
actually a thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I told you to say that. So what about the flower essence? Can we
the
talk
flower
about
essence.
that? Yeah, let's talk
Absolutely.
about that.
So that's a
course.
phenomenal adjunct. Okay, so the tools of consciousness, or the tools of getting unstuck, beautifully are supported by flower essences. And what are flower essences? Everyone's like, well, I know what flower essences are. Maybe not. Flower essences, everyone thinks of by the word essence, because it sort of just, kind of takes you down the wrong path. They think it's aromatherapy. They think it's basically the beautiful smells of a flower. But this is actually very different. This is the vibrational footprint of a flower that matches the frequency, the resonance of a human emotion.
Oh, wow.
And when these flower essences are either sprayed or taken to your tongue, they almost immediately transfer, or they're a tuning fork. The way to put it is they're a tuning fork for our natural homeostasis, for our natural balance and our natural center. So it doesn't matter if you're feeling insecure, if you're feeling angry, if you're feeling resentful. You pick an emotion, there's a flower that matches that and will restore you back to balance. So it's incredible, and there's so many exciting things that spin off of that. I could go on too long, and I don't want to monopolize here. But in this class, what you'll learn is how to make your own flower essence formulations. I'll have all of them there. I'll have over 200 flower essences that you can pick from. And you ask, how do I pick? Well, we'll go over that too. And then how to dose, and then what circumstances, and everything from somebody's in a hospital from a drastic accident and you want to help make sure they survive, what you can do for that, down to your kid is nervous about doing school. It doesn't matter. It can work for everybody in the household. They're phenomenal for children. And actually, I had a whole company that I retired recently. It's called OptiBalance Pet, where I had a line of formulations that restored the emotional and behavioral balance for dogs and cats.
That's crazy.
So there would be no more peeing out of the litter box, no more food aggression, all of those kinds of things, done simply by flowers, simply by flower essences. And they have no smell. So you can't differentiate them by smell, but you can by frequency.
Wow.
So I hope that
it does. Judy, you're so meant to be doing podcasts and stuff. Like you have such great energy and knowledge, and you're so incredibly well spoken. So like you should do stuff like this.
I appreciate it. I mean, I love this material. I love seeing people expand. I love seeing people have aha moments and step out into more of the fullness of who they really are and can be. So that's what I'm here for. I'm here to that feeds me, and so I'm looking forward to helping everybody that wants to step further into their world,
That's so interesting. So a lot of what we're talking about here is going to always come back to this theme of the encouragement for one to spend time on themselves, right?
Yes.
I think it's always about that, right? Everybody's always looking outward to do things they have to do, but we often forget about the time that we need to spend on ourselves. And so I think that with all these things, these tools, everything that we're talking about here, they help you just kind of connect to yourself, and they help you ground, and they help you, find your space.
They do, and acknowledging the fact that nobody chooses that, because everybody's worried about their family, their children, their husband, their wife, whatever.
Yeah.
What I can say about the flower essences in particular, and also even the art of getting unstuck, is that you're not just taking care of yourself. You're taking care intrinsically of everybody around you. In fact, when you take care of them, you're also taking care of you too. So this provides tools that assist everybody in your world. And so even if you're not taking time out for yourself, if, like, for instance, if I have a grumpy husband one morning or two mornings, that has an impact on my day. Yeah. But if I walk over and he takes a couple drops of that ungrumpy formula, woo, I got a better day.
Do you have that?
I
ungrumpy formula?
I need to name it that.
You should.
I should.
You should. You'd sell so many.
Oh my God, I like that.
So good.
Ungrumpy
For some reason,
Ungrumpy.
I'm imagining a man just sleeping at home, just enjoying his sleep, and little drops just falling into his mouth.
Into his mouth
while
while he
he's
snores.
sleeping. I'm like, that's okay. I mean, hey, maybe that works, but
it does actually.
That's so funny.
There are other ways to do it. You can, no, we won't go into that right now. But no, it absolutely can help bolster your own world, and intrinsically, if he's ungrumpy, he's going to have a better day too.
Yeah.
So it works for everybody.
That's cool. That's great. I do want to make, before we throw this over to Danielle, just talking about these offerings and stuff that we have. I want to say, we do have coming up on the 12th of December, we have a free crystal sound bowl healing on Friday nights.
Ooh.
We're going to do it a couple times with Jody Fox. She's going to bring her crystal bowls, and she's going to do this sound healing. If you guys have never done a sound healing, come to Arts Bonita on that Friday and look at, check it out. See what that feels like to sit in a room with a bunch of people, listen to the sounds of those crystal bowls. I don't know how to explain it. It's magical. You feel it. It's
actually very much in alignment with all of the other energy medicines we're talking about here. It is frequency. Yep. We are frequency. If you and we in train, we tune ourselves to frequencies that are coming at us. And so if you're getting really clean, pure, resonant frequencies from a crystal bowl, your body will entrain to that and bring you back into homeostasis. So it's almost a science, actually. There is a science.
Right, absolutely.
Well, I learned a lot of this stuff from my wife, who first got me as the I call it the spiritual gateway drug of crystals. And the way that she would explain things with the vibration of different crystals and how we all have everything has a vibration, everything in the world. And how if you're in a certain kind of mood and then you have this crystal that has this vibration, like you will, what is it, attune? Entrain. Yep. You same vibration. And so the crystal's consistent. It doesn't get, as you would always say, I've learned. You know, we have this emotional, you know, state that we're constantly going through as we go through our day, whereas a crystal does not. And so that's why people use crystals. So I totally believe that. So Danielle,
yes.
Let's look at what you have coming up next, which I believe is the automatic writing workshop called Pen to Paper, Soul to Spirit.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, and one thing I have to say too is there are so many doors that lead to the same room. I mean, that there really is, right? So there's so many ways to attune our energy, to clear our energy, to open us up, right? And one of the reasons I love opening up so much is because I love that connection. I love connecting to the divine. I love connecting to higher wisdom. And I get asked a lot, you know, a lot of people will come to me and say, do you teach a channeling class? To which I'm like, no, not really. But I really started thinking about that because a lot of people seem to want to know how to do it. And the thing is it's intrinsically in us, right? It's intrinsically in us. We just have blocks to that channel. And so one of the things I love about this particular class with automatic writing is it's the first way I learned to open up to higher guidance. And so I was 22, 23. I was working with this little old Jewish woman who was a psychic medium. She was amazing. She had healed herself from autoimmune diseases. She was the first one who started teaching me about energy work and about how we are all energy. And I remember just intuitively taking pen to paper, and I was never a diary person, so I'm a very efficient person. And to me, a diary is like, oh my God, who has time? Takes too much time. So I was never a diary girl, but I remember while I was sort of starting this journey, I would write down a lot of things that I was feeling, thinking, impulses I was receiving. And when I look back at it, that was sort of the beginnings of little intuitive hits, right? Like getting guidance. And I remember I would just start to put at the top of the paper, dear angels, or let's say I wanted to connect to I remember my grandfather had passed recently and I had said, you know, dear Grandpa, you know, Willison. And I would just intuitively start doing this. I would hear his response and just start writing it down, writing it down, writing it down. My handwriting would change. The feeling in my body, everything would change. And I remember going to this woman and I was like, I think I'm going crazy because I swear this is him talking, not me. I must be going insane. And she grabbed it and she flipped through it. She goes, honey, you're not crazy. You're automatic writing. And I said, what is that? And she said, this is how you are communicating to spirit. This is how you're communicating to in that instance, a deceased loved one, and so on and so forth. So this is, for me, what opened my channel to receive all through paper. And even to this day, 20 some years later, when people come for sessions with me, I always start, that's always my launching off point, is I have to channel by connecting pen to paper, and then it rolls, right? And so this class really came out of people asking me, can you teach me how to channel? And I went, you know, one of the easiest, gentlest ways to do that is through teaching automatic writing. So it's really a class on intuition, trusting your intuition. How does spirit communicate with me? How can I tune in to my own higher consciousness and get that wisdom? How do I sort of circumvent those blocks, right? So there's a lot more to it. There's going to be meditation. There's going to be a whole spiritual component. And to your point, not religious at all, but spiritual, right? And so that's what that class is for all those people who said, hey, can you teach me how to channel? And I kind of went, meh, you know, like this is that little tidbit that I think is really, really empowering, because to your point, there are ways that you can facilitate healing, and there are ways that you could teach people tools for their own healing, right? So I make a living with people coming to me for sessions, but I'm passionate about teaching other people how to be their own oracle, how to connect on their own, right? Because that's sustainable and that's empowering. And that's about trusting your own intuition, your own guidance, your own body, the wisdom of your own being. And so that's really what I like to go with in these classes, all of them. It's my goal in all of my classes.
So I want to say that, people are already signed up for these classes. So if you're out there and you're thinking like this could be interesting, one thing you have to know about Arts Bonita is you want to sign up for your classes right away because stuff sells out. So make sure.
And we do have a limit.
And we do have a limit.
Class.
Yeah, we're definitely not. Yeah, there's a limit for the classes.
And intentionally, there is a limit from my point of view because I want to make sure I give everybody the proper time because there's going to be lots of individual discussion, back and forth. And
that's right.
So give ample, everyone get a chance to feel like they've really been involved.
There's definitely a mindfulness behind what we do for our minimum and maximum in our classes. So anyway, but yeah, you definitely got to go out and sign up. Go to artsbonita.org, look at the classes that are there under mindfulness, and you want to get plugged in. So Danielle, what about angelic Reiki? I know you said that you're going to be going to Taiwan and you're going to be teaching some angelic Reiki workshops for a couple of weeks in the middle of December. I'm certainly aware because you'll be gone and it'll be me with those kids again. But tell us a little bit about angelic Reiki and what we have coming up on January 23rd.
Yeah, so angelic Reiki is an amazing healing modality, and I know Judy and I were having this conversation at brunch earlier, but we were talking about the difference between Usui Reiki, which is the Reiki most people know of, and angelic Reiki. And the difference with angelic Reiki is you are specifically attuned to your healing angels. I mean, how beautiful is that? So not just our guardian angel, not the archangels that are available to all of us, but our own healing angels. And once you get attuned to the healing angels, you are completely a channel. Your energy merges with your healing angels' energy, and then you basically envelop your client in this love because that's what that frequency is. You're just connecting to pure love. And from there, you are just the channel. The angels do all the work. So if you're interested in angels, if you're interested in ascended masters, what are ascended masters? Could be Kuan Yin, it could be Yeshua, could be Mother Mary, it could be Saint Germain, right? These are ascended masters. Beings that once walked this earth but ascended when they didn't need to come back to learn more lessons, right? And now they act as guides for us and teachers, and they're absolutely amazing. So through this modality, you're connecting with the angels, the ascended masters, and galactic healers. I know that sounds crazy. What are those? I like to say they're basically angels from other solar systems, right? So per what you were saying, it's like everything's energy, we're all energy, and there are other light beings around. So this is really a modality that you learn if you're already a healer, if you sense that you could be a healer, and if you really want to learn how to become a channel for these frequencies to help people. That's what it is. And one of the biggest misconceptions, I would say, is people think that angels are, Catholic or Christian, and to which I say no. They belong to everybody. Everybody. In every major religion, they speak about angels. So they are just messengers of the divine, and the energy is really, really beautiful. So to answer your question, I've been lucky enough to teach this modality in various states. I've taught in Canada the last few years, and now I'm really, really happy to be invited to go to Taiwan to teach 2 workshops in December, and then I'm very, very happy to be bringing it here to Arts Bonita in January. So it's a 2.5-day course. It is beautiful. You learn a lot of hands-on healing modalities, but this is also something that you can do and send healing this way remotely. So it doesn't have to be hands-on in the day of Zoom, right? Where everything's Zoom now.
And it's absolutely a thing. You absolutely can send healing energies over Zoom or even over your phone.
Yeah.
And we have many empirical experiences of this.
Absolutely. Yeah, 1,000%. So that's what that's about, and that I can't wait. I think January is going to be quite full. I mean, when you think of what you're bringing, what I'm bringing, what other teachers are bringing here, I think Arts Bonita is going to be pretty busy in January.
Well, and I also want to give a little shout out to Aliona, the executive director, for incorporating mindfulness into what is an art center. Well,
right.
It's like, wait, why? Well, it makes all the sense in the world, because in order to express your true artistic nature, the more you grow as a person, the more you can get out of your own way, the more you can get tapped into the truth of who you are, the more you can express your unique form of art and have that flourish and come out in a way that fills you with joy as well as others that get to appreciate it. So it's an intrinsic part of an art experience, whether it be performance or visual of any form, is to get more in touch with the truth, the clarity, the purity of you and what your personal expression in the world is. And so I applaud her for incorporating that. I think that's a really big win for the center.
Yeah.
Yes, Aliona is a huge champion of that. And it was one of the first things that she said to me when I started here. And then I just happened to be married to one of those. And so,
Smart boy.
Yeah. And then we had our meeting and, look at, in true to form, we said, hey, let's do something. And we've been doing stuff. So we're super excited to be having your things, here. That's something that's new for us this year and something we want to continue and build out on. And, you guys need to go to that mindfulness page and look at it. We have just a couple more minutes. I just want to ask you guys one final. Go ahead.
May I ask one interjection? Yeah. The website is a little challenging, so I want to make sure everybody knows that you can only get there from what you said. If you think you can get there from the mini workshops or from workshops or from adult, any other area.
You have to go to the discipline.
You have to go to the discipline to find the mindfulness.
You can also call the center and you can say, hey, I'm looking for this class. Yeah. You can also come to the center. They'll help you sign up. There's a catalog with this information in it as well. But I just one final question for you guys that we probably have a few minutes for, which is just to say, who out there needs this stuff? There's people who are already into it. There's people who haven't gotten into it. I'm just curious, what would you say to everybody out there listening? Who needs this?
Okay,
go ahead.
It makes me smile. I couldn't imagine anybody who wouldn't benefit. I mean, it's fundamental to our existence that all of this stuff is relevant for anybody. In reality, who would benefit the most are somebody who's open, somebody who is willing and interested in expanding themselves and the possibilities in their world. To people that are curious, people that say, hey, maybe I can make my life a little better. Hey, maybe I can have more fun in my life. Hey, maybe I can make my life a little more magical. Hey, maybe I can explore possibilities that I thought were out of reach for me, but I was only in my own way. So just about anybody who is looking to, what would you say? Expand and try something new. I mean, if your life has worked for you perfectly up to this time, well, great.
Good for you.
Good for you. and I'm impressed. Yeah. But if you're saying, hey, I wish I could do this, or I've never done that, and I wish I had the XYZ to do that, and anybody who has any sort of sense of what they still would like to do, accomplish, experience, expand in their life. This is it.
Yeah.
Wow. Anything to add to that?
I think that is so well said. The only thing I would add is I think that every person, and ourselves included, of course, but I think every person we're always reaching for more expansion. We're always reaching for higher consciousness. We really, really are. And sometimes we don't know what we need. We don't know what we don't know. Right. And I think just trying things, it's again, so many doors that lead to the same room. For one person, it might be the crystal bowls. For another person, it might be flower essences. For another person, it might be a healing modality or, art or whatever it is. But the thing is, you have to keep meeting yourself, right? Meeting new versions of yourself and see where you can grow and expand. And so I think, like you said, having that open mind and that desire to just be more open, more curious, how good can you stand it, right? How good can you stand it? And so I also think a big part of this, last thing, is community. When you come to a class,
big one.
you're meeting people. I mean, I wouldn't have known you except
Exactly. We took a class.
we took a class, and Aliona said to Jon, I want to start putting this mindfulness thing together. And then you walked in, and I was sitting there, and our eyes kind of met, not to sound weird or anything. And it was like, you can sit by me, you know. But it was just that, you know. But it's even that brought together this community, and that's one of the most beautiful things about all of this is so many people on a spiritual journey feel like they're on an island, and no one sort of gets it, and it's taboo and it's weird. And then you come and you teach a class here, and there's 17 people flipping angel cards, and people are having fun and eating pizza, and some people are crying, and some people are, you know, just
Drinking wine.
drinking wine, hanging out with their buddy. And so that community aspect is huge. I think is really, really big.
It's a great aspect to it.
Yeah.
A really important part. It's because it can feel lonely.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's so important because this culture has, you know, a lot of us down here are not originally from here.
Yeah.
So we're developing our community. And,
Right.
and
Yeah.
so this is a really wonderful way to find like-minded and people that are fun to interact with. Because I want to be with people I want to play with.
That's right.
Yeah.
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 Wow. Judy Tobey, Danielle Artigo, thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having us.
You guys, Jinx, you guys need to go to artsbonita.org, and you do need to directly go to adult education and then to mindfulness so that you can see these classes and get signed up. The next two that are coming from where we stand right now are Danielle's Pen to Paper, Soul to Spirit, Automatic Writing Workshop, and then, of course, The Art of Getting Unstuck. These two ladies are going to own January as in terms of mindfulness. And these classes are going to be in our really nice gallery space over at the Visual Arts Center. And so it's going to be really nice in there. Danielle had a great workshop earlier in the year that was very successful and had about 18 people there. And it's really great in that space. So it's going to be a good space for you guys to be.
And she's a phenomenal teacher. I just have to add that. She really is.
Likewise.
No, thank you.
Well, thank you guys so much. That's it for this week's podcast. We look forward to seeing you next time.